Welcome back, everyone. Today we are looking at vectors. So we are looking at vectors in one dimension. So we're looking at the horizontal or our x-axis. So our vectors can go in the same direction, or we can change the direction of the vector to have another vector going in the east direction, or we say to our right, and then the one that goes to our left, that is the vector going to the west. So we can look at these magnitudes of these vectors, and if we want to find the resultant vector, then we find the sum, and if the other vector is going in the opposite direction, then we subtract. So we need a reference to say which one is our positive. So if we choose east to be our positive or right to be our positive, if a vector is going to the left, then we're going to subtract. And then we'll find also our resultant will give us the direction of the resultant vector. And we can also have vectors in one dimension, but these vectors will be going north or south. So when we look at vectors that are going north and south, they can also go in the same direction, which will be our north. And when we add to get the resultant vector, we will find that our resultant vector is going north as well. So here we have vector D and vector E, and they're both vectors going north. And then we look at the magnitudes of these vectors. We find our resultant force. So our resultant vector is also going north. If we change the direction of the vectors, it affects our resultant. So if the other vector is going south, then depending on the magnitude of that vector, our resultant vector will either face north or it will face south, because that depends on the magnitude of the vectors that we're working with. So this is just the basic way of finding the resultant of given vectors. So this is one-dimensional, and if we understand the basics, then we can go to solving complex problems. But first we have to understand the basics of how we are solving these problems, and I'll show you in the next video on how we'll use the head to tail method to find our resultant vector.